Welcome to chapter 2.
Yes. What's chapter 1?
Chapter 1. Good question.
What is it? Hey, we too combine India and China. We have
Like half the world.
We're half the world, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Hey, what is that word that my friend always use? Panchot.
Oh my God.
What is that? He said it's high. Sorry. Let me re-enter the frame. I'm sorry, fuck.
And rolling, sound. Rolling. Action.
Hi, Jackson.
Hey.
Welcome to India.
Thanks for having me.
I'm very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And welcome to chapter 2.
Yes. What's chapter 1?
Chapter 1. Good question.
What is it?
Well, in my life, it's been a lot of drama. I was part of a media trial and a lot went down and life was very difficult for a while. So when I came out of it, I decided to call it chapter 2.
Amazing.
And I feel like everyone has a chapter 2. When they're coming out of something, it could be a breakup, it could be a change of career, it could be moving cities, it could be changing your profession, which you know.
100%. I think I'm currently living my chapter 2. Yeah. So went through so much stuff in my career too. Yeah.
And how's that? How are you in your chapter?
I was, first of all, like, I've entered the industry, the society when I was 19. I went to, since a kid, I've always been in a certain ecosystem. As a kid, I was a fencer, professional fencer, since 10 to 17. And then, which means, like, before our shoot, you were talking about you're like from a lot of different places in India. And I'm like, I always travel for tournaments. I spent a lot of times in Budapest. I spent a lot of times in Sicily. I'm always going to different places like Belfast, Baku, all these different places. So I was barely in school, right? And when I was an athlete, I've always lived with the team. And then I went to become a trainee in K-pop. I was living with the trainees. And then after debut, I was living with the members. So I'm always like with people, and I was I entered this society without being ready, and I missed out a lot in my youth. And and I was totally not ready for that. Everything's the first time. I didn't even graduate high school. Like I just happened to, witness so many things until a point where just facing different stuff, right? Different people, humanity. How is humanity? What is reality? Everyone's got a dream, but what's reality? Some of the stuff that, and just a lot of ups and downs. And I got, but also a lot of like grateful, blessing moment that I appreciate a lot, good memories, but also at the same time, as dynamic as it is, some of the very dynamic negative stuff that I see, right? How as a kid, I always thought like, oh, music, I love music. I only care about art. I only care about this. But at the end of the day, more I grow, it's still a business. It's a show business, right? It's this and that, just constantly witnessing a lot, feeling a lot, getting hurt a lot, and getting love a lot, like just very dynamic. And I put every of that experience for the first time in my newest album. And your chapter 2, and my album is called Magic Man 2.
Yes, I've seen Magic Man 2. It looks amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
I do see when I watched a lot of your videos, before meeting you, I do see that Magic Man seems to have come out of a lot of pain.
100%. And it's the reason why it looks the way it is. It's people see me, the people who know of me sees me as Jackson Wang. But this inside, how I really feel, it looks like that. And
how do you really feel?
I feel, and obviously, I'm like chapter 2 of that too. I got out of that. I recovered. I'm in a way more healthy state. But that time I didn't know what to feel, you know, from when I thought, you know, that's why I broke down my album in 4 chapters. The first chapter is like when I thought everything was good. Everything is good. People I trust, you know, like just nothing but love, you know, and pure, you know, and running into problems, go into chapter 2 of losing control. When I first understand, oh shit, why is the way that, how can humans do this? And how can this situation be like that? How can the deal be like that? Why am, like, that wasn't my intention, or that's just tragic stuff to losing control emotionally, right? And then goes into chapter 3 when I start to calm down and mature and understand and realize a lot of things. And to chapter 4, understanding everything, accepting it, and just moving on with life. You know, just the entire chapters are talking about that. And that was also a time where I took a year off last year, you know, and I started to write diaries. And then I just, for a year, I realized a lot of stuff. I realized that I've never written songs for myself. And as a kid, we always think, I always think, I want to be cool. I want to show people I can dance. I want to show people I can do this. I can direct. I can do a lot of stuff, but without understanding what is cool, you know, from that year of a break for mental reflection, I just realized, oh, maybe cool is being proud of who you are and just be as you as possible.
Authentic.
Exactly, right? And being honest to yourself. Don't lie to yourself, you know, and it's just that. And then the entire album is just things of how I feel about society, how I feel about humanity, how do I feel about reality, what is, at the end of the day, is it is what it is. And how do I feel about my parents, right? How do I feel about my feeling when I was going through all this, right? So that's why there's a lot of different songs. For example, I have a song called High Alone. And then in the visuals, I kind of directed, I wrote it the way that I feel like entertainment business or any industry, everything is a business, right? Everything is, and business comes with reality, right? And at the end of the day, it's just a show. And every artist or every IP is just a product. It's not something good and it's not something bad, it's just reality. It is what it is, you know?
Either it works and makes money or it doesn't work.
Yeah, you know? And so that in the music video, I kind of described it as an analogy of a visual, as if I'm in a water tank and I'm putting on a show. And then people watch, clap, you know, cheer. But then at the end of the day, like, I die in the water tank. I couldn't even get out. But I didn't know it was a part of the show, but they knew because they've been watching this over years, you know, and I die in the water tank and people just move on to the next show.
Yeah.
You know, so just talking about this is reality, not saying that they're just humans.
Yeah, no one's being malicious.
Yeah. Of course,
It's not coming from a bad place.
Yeah.
But it's just the way it is. It's the nature of the business.
It's just nature of reality. This is what it is. And that's the song. And also in the song itself, also what also got me thinking was, even if, just for example, me, right? I'm surrounded by a lot of people every day, like whether it's my family, whether it's this, but still a lot of time I think we all do feel lonely, you know? And even if there's so many people, friends or whatever.
Like, I think more so.
Yeah.
More so if you're around a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I would imagine in like your world, like, you know, when you're a pop star, you're going out there, you're doing stuff, you constantly have people around you. You're performing for people, you have a team, there's a schedule. Like even right now, from what I understand, you've been in India, you've been so busy. And I've been seeing you like eating a lot of Indian food and doing a lot of stuff. And I'm like, you know what, I don't want to do any of this stuff with this guy. Like I feel like there is a person there who is going through some sort of an emotional moment in his life. And that reflects in your music. When I watched your music and when I listened to your music, it's beautiful. I do feel moved by it because I feel there's something happening there. And I'm just trying to understand like where you are vis-a-vis that feeling. I know we jumped right into it.
Currently,
Yeah.
currently I'm over it. But then when I was going through a lot in my reflection, I wrote everything down and just translated it into the music, right? All the lyrics are actually the diaries, right? So then, yeah, like that was High Alone. I feel like we're so lonely and we die alone, just being very real, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a good thing, bad thing, just it is what it is and just accept it and be mature and grow through it. And it's just life. It's just the ecosystem of life, right? And for example, like other songs I have called Gotta Be a Dick. Yeah, like G-Bad, it's talking about, hey, life is so great. We always want to give out, as humans, right? The nature, I feel like, is we always want to share and spread love and support good, positive energy, but we also have to understand like the bad side come with people sometimes do take advantage of it, right? And then when you're in those situations, it's not like you want to be a bad person, but it's to protect your own boundary when people are just taking it too much, like stepping over the boundary too much. And that's just the nature of it. So then that was a certain moment that I just wrote a song that's talking about that. And that's all the lyrics, what happened to me.
Do you think like writing your feelings and
Yeah.
expressing them makes it lighter for you?
It feels like I didn't even know I had that thought. And like I'm writing this, but at the same time, like I'm studying myself.
You're like, oh, this is what I'm feeling.
Yeah, and I feel like that feeling, because obviously we're in society, in different industries, a lot of the times we have no choice but to hide whoever that's here. Because certain, you get what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you can't be like, you can't cry when you want to. You can't be like absolutely vulnerable all the time. Like you have to be present at work. You have to show up for your job.
100%, and that's what they call professional. Being professional at certain things. I understand that, and think for 6 to 7 years of my entire career, beginning till when I was like 26, 27, I always tend to avoid whoever that's here.
Escape.
Yeah, try to avoid this guy, like not talk to him. And last year, I started, during reflection, I tried to write, and that means I'm trying to study, like I'm trying to be in contact with him, like try to accept him and try to really listen to how he feels. And that is Magic Man to me. This whatever that's going on, it represents my internal emotions, which I've been escaping from. Yeah.
I like that you've got a name for him.
Yeah. The Magic Man.
And I know it's really hard when you've been escaping for a long time to kind of sit down with what it is that you truly feel, because it's overwhelming, which is why people who are escaping life, they're running and running and running and doing like 100 things back to back because they don't want to stop. Because when they stop, like you said, you took the year off, that's when it will hit you. That, oh my God, okay, this is what I was feeling. And feelings often feel overwhelming to people. Like we all run away from extreme feeling, extreme pain, extreme sadness. We're like, whoa, I don't want to feel it. Let me just go out with my friends. Let me just go to work. Let me just go. Let's book jobs. Let's go on the next plane. And then suddenly it hits you. And I feel like that's probably
exactly
where you were.
It's just, since 19 till before last year, I've been nonstop, over 10 years. Nonstop at all.
So your 20s,
Yeah.
which is like the funnest, most free time.
It was fun, but it's also hectic. Like in a way,
It was not normal.
Yeah. And I appreciate it. And the thing is, the most important thing that got me stopping was throughout this 10 years, I didn't even have time to think. I didn't even have time to think about what do I like and who am I? Am I the one that people who know me think I am? Or am I the one that I think I am? But it came to a question where I didn't even know who I was. You know what I mean? It felt like a duty where, oh shit, in certain situation, I had to be like that because I kind of, there's a persona of, oh, I am like that. But am I though? You get what I mean? So
Yeah.
So I just stop and make sure, like, okay, what does all this mean to me? What's my value and what's my standard? And how am I feelings towards all these stuff? So I think after that year, I kind of like, after 30, I kind of became more neutral with everything. Yeah, just it's not as dynamic internally because I feel like this whoever does not exist anymore. I feel like it's sane, you know, and I'm way more closer, or at least, you know, so I think I have my center more now. Yeah.
And that's where the magic is at. Like as a human being, as an actor, as an artist, in any job, if you can be close to who you are,
Yeah.
or at least who you are becoming, because we are not going to be the same year on year. Well, hopefully not. We all want to evolve. And in that evolution, you want to recognize where you are. Because you can leave some bits of the old self and you can adapt some of the new stuff that now you want to be.
Right.
And fame, I find fame also to be a very interesting monster.
Yeah, definitely.
I've had my own tryst with fame, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Fame has its pros and it definitely has its cons. It can make you feel quite lonely. But the question is loneliness a choice? Because fame is a choice. When I remember when I was 17 and I started my career with MTV as a VJ, I chose fame. I chose that I wanted to be known. I wanted to be recognized. I wanted to walk down the streets and people to stop me and be like, hey, I know you from TV. Right? And now that one sees the dark side of fame, you can't choose. So has a person who's chosen fame and then feels lonely as a person who's done that, do you feel loneliness is a choice, like fame is a choice?
I totally understand, and I think fame to me is like popularity or even material stuff, money. We can't, obviously we want, you know, but I think it's the different, what value does it have for me? And I always sees it as something that I appreciate, but also knowing this shit is not forever, and like it's bubbles. So you can't think it's everything. You get me? I think that's when you start to go left, right? So, and for me, it's always been like that. Tomorrow can lose everything.
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah.
You know, like just, yeah. So I just been very neutral, and I think I've tried different mindsets, you know, different thoughts, but I think what works with me at the end of the day for most of the time is I'm just focusing on my craft, you know, and when it's good, okay, it's good. Just be a little bit, now I'm more like neutral to it. Like when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, I'm not that sad, you know, I'm just focused on my craft. Yeah.
And put all of yourself into it.
Yeah. And like, I agree with what you said. I think lonely and just everything, like you said, there's pros and cons, can't have everything. And yeah, just deal with it and accept it and just move on with it.
Like a lot of people say that, you know, if I had so much money or if I made X amount of money, I would leave this hustle life. I would stop chasing money once I have this much money and I'll go live on a mountain. I'll have my own farm. I'll have some dogs. I'll have a wife or a husband and I'll live my life like that. But when those people make that much money, then they just want more and
What's
more.
next?
Yeah, the next ceiling.
Yeah.
And I have met enough people who, according to me, have a lot of money and enough people who are, according to me, are making a lot of money who don't seem to stop. And even for myself, I wonder, like, how much is enough? And at what point can you say that I do this drug that is fame and this validation that I get from making money is no longer the only validation I seek in my life?
Yeah, I totally agree with that because I feel like it depends on what your priority is, right? Like what you're chasing after. I mean, if it's money, I mean, it's a very valid priority, a dream or a goal, right? If that's what you want, then just go after it. And I think for me, I don't know if it's for everyone else, but if it's creating art, you know, creating whether music or new IPs or certain things. I always create it in a way that, in a mindset of, I wish I can see something like this. I would use something like this. I would go to some, if it's an IP of a festival or whatever, I would go to somewhere like this. I'm just creating a dream and I feel blessed to even be able to do that. You know, and even if it's tiring, it's a happy tiring. You know,
because you feel like there's a purpose in that dream.
Yeah. And I think.
But would you, given your current life schedule and the way you're going with your career, if that kind of festival or that kind of IP existed, would you make the time? Would you have the time to go there if it was not being made by you?
Oh, definitely. I would definitely try to find my way there.
But would you make it? Would you make it?
No, I would definitely, to enjoy, definitely, yeah. I'll probably find my way to, hey, see if I can perform there because I really like the IP, right? It's either that.
But no, not
right?
to work there. The condition is that you can't perform there. You just go to experience that.
But what if you feel work is not work? You get what I mean? I love performing.
Do you feel work is not work?
I do. The one thing that I hate, but still, I think it's I'm saying it's a happy struggle, is the prep of any project. And IP, the prep is the most tiring thing, the prep, especially if it's something that what you want to do, even if you have 100 people doing it, it's not their dream, it's your dream. So the prep has always been hard for me.
But what about the other stuff, the ancillary stuff, the stuff that surrounds you? Like, I'll give you an example. Like, a lot of artists are constantly being recorded or constantly being videographed. And it kind of like, you kind of get used to it. Even a lot of reality TV stars or whatever, they're surrounded by people, and the job is that everything that they do must be recorded. And I'm pretty sure, like, you're really famous, and that would happen a lot in your life.
Sometimes. What about it?
Then at what point are you just being normal and relaxed? And because, we all perform.
Yeah.
Today, if I wasn't sitting here, the lights were off and all of these cameras were gone, you and I would behave differently.
Like what?
Like, you would probably be on your phone, you do something else. Like, we would not be having such an intense conversation. We know the cameras are on, so we want to have a conversation we want to put ourselves out there, right? So I'm saying, when the cameras are not on, is there a person that's very different?
I think I'm very, I think I'm pretty much the same. Like, honestly, I don't know. Like, ask my team. I don't know. I think I'm pretty much the same. I won't be naked.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
if we're in front of cameras,
Sure.
I won't be naked. But if I'm by myself in my room, I would, and I think that's pretty
That's
much
the only
And
difference?
probably like cursing, I curse a lot, but just like not in a bad,
Not on a camera.
negative attitude.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I'm pretty much similar.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah,
interesting. Because I don't think that a lot of people are as similar.
I think I'm pretty close because I feel like that's also one thing, like my audience and I want them to, if they're supporting me or if they're following my movement, I want them to know exactly what they're getting themselves into, And if I always have this thought, if I'm pretending to be whatever, right? One day it's gonna blow up, and there's gonna lies after lies, covering. It's gonna be endless, And so I try my best. To be consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, fair. You were talking about like a phase in your life where you went, the year that you took off, where you experienced, a lot of pain and reflected, right? And your mental health.
It was bad. Like, it was so bad that I said, I need to stop. It was so bad.
Like, did you suffer from depression or anxiety?
Yeah, a lot. I think internally I was a lot. I was very bad. Like, I was escaping so much to a point where I didn't even know myself. And second, because of that, I couldn't do anything. I was trying to escape to a point that, because growing up as an athlete and my family's athletes,
it's a lot of pressure.
like professional athletes, I'm always disciplined, like that's the nature of, that's
Wake
in the
up
blood.
early, go to practice, eat
Just
right.
like work hard, and but the thing is, it was the first time when I felt like I became lazy. I don't want to face it. And I was drunk every day. So drunk that I couldn't even make decisions anymore. Escaping, and never escape, but I started to escape. And then I was also, because of that era, I realized later on in the year, I hurt a lot of people. I hurt a lot of people. I said stuff that, hurt people. Can't even remember what I said, I feel like, what's this life? Like, I just really need to stop. And yeah. And
what was that point that made you feel like you need to come out of this? And
I felt like I was gonna die. Yeah, like literally die.
like physically.
Like I felt like I wanted to end my life at that point, and I never thought about that in my life, right? And obviously the recovery was a long time.
Gradual.
And sometimes even now I'm fully recovered, but sometimes I get back, just like a little bit,
No, I
of it and come
understand.
back.
I totally understand.
Yeah, and I just said, stop. I really need to breathe. Like, fuck all these whatever collaboration shit. Like, that's important to you. Like, that's why I don't have a manager.
Oh, you don't have a manager?
Yeah, I don't have a manager. Mine is only me and one person. That's it. But
what's the thing that like I have been through really dark times in my life as well, and there's like a moment, an internal moment that you have, which reminds you that, hey, not everything is like so bad. Like for me, it was like, I do like some things. And maybe for those some things or for those some moments, I want to go on. And I want to try harder. And I want to change my life. And I want to be better. Was there a moment like that for you?
Yeah, that moment when I was in my lowest mental state and physical state, I was...
I'm trying to say, what flipped it? Like you were at the low, imagine you were just crashing.
Yeah.
You hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And then what picks you up from rock bottom? Like, how do you pick yourself up back from rock bottom? How do you enter your chapter 2?
I think it was just like, fuck everything. I'm gonna restart. Basically build a building, this fuck building, and I'm just gonna rebuild from the ground floor. And I'm willing to do it. And I felt like can't continue like this. I feel like I would regret. And like I said, I felt like I was gonna die. Yeah. First time thinking about that. Yeah. And I said, really cannot.
And did you have like an individual or a friend or a person or a family member that helped you come out of this? Well, if you have to think that hard, I guess the answer is no.
Yes, but I feel like the main drive was just myself, because I'm sick of that, That's why the manager thing, like, it's not about the manager now, after I reflect the entire journey. It's just the people I met was not
the right people.
Not the right people for me at that right time, at that certain time, and yeah, and a lot of scars, a lot of wounds from them. Yeah.
Did you feel like you were just kind of getting pushed and you were at a breaking point and nobody else around you could sense that? Or even if they sensed it,
they sense it, they ignore it, because as long as you get the job done, right?
You make the money. The money.
You make the
keeps
money,
coming.
and then like just as long as, like I said, the best line is just it's your dream, it's not their dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad to know that you managed to pull yourself back up.
It took a long time.
Yeah.
So basically, that year off is like in the middle. I still had a little work, right? But majority of the time, I just flew to a place that I have never been staying long enough. So or even like a city, certain part of the city. I just went there with 3 producers sometimes. And then just live together, drink together, make food together, party together, go in clubs together, write music. And about
what it is that you're feeling.
What I feel, and just make the music. And sometimes the first time in my life, really sit down and take the time to write things for myself and how I feel about reality, humanity, society, industry, just everything.
It's really nice that you're so open and you speak about your vulnerabilities and everything that you've experienced and your feeling and, mental health and all of that, because I do feel like there's a lot of pressure on famous people, celebrities, to be like, why are you sad? You got everything, People view it like, hey, but he's successful. Hey, Magic Man's doing really well. Hey, he's got so many views. He's making money. Everybody wants to be him. But people the audiences also to relate to the fact that he's also a normal guy. He can also be going through something. And I'm really glad that we're having this conversation, because I think even in our country, it's a really nice thing for people to know that regardless of how successful someone is or how famous someone is, they could be going through mental health problems. And that's totally normal. And most of us are going through it. And I'm just glad that the conversation has opened up on a level where you're having this conversation with me so easily.
Yeah.
On our first meeting in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, this is
Well
what's
done.
up. Hey, thank you. It's what's up. It's what's up. And I think, yeah, a lot of times, I just have random thoughts and I just note down. And one of it is like, hey, we're entertainers, man. Like we're not supposed to tell people how much we go through. And then sometimes I think like that.
No.
But it's just a thought, like just flew away.
Of course.
Past,
It will happen.
And then a lot of times people ask me, what do you feel about some negative thoughts? Like people judge you, comment. And then I think like, we're entertainers, right? We're entertaining. It's just everyone in the world is stressed as fuck already. Everyone's so stressed. And I feel like in a lot of the hard moments, tough moments, it's our responsibility, duty, we want to bring joy just for a certain moment, and positive, even if it's negative.
You want them to
right?
feel something.
Right, and feel that they're not alone, and by doing that, this entire album rollout, it's just sharing to the people that know of me, this is what I've been through, and this is all the chapters from how I dealt with it. And that's just my scenario. I'm sure you got your own,
Everyone has their own ways and their own journeys and their own chapters.
So it's just that. And I think I've never really shared that in my life, in my career, something like this.
And you're getting already a lot of love for it.
What do you mean?
Are you already getting a lot of love for Magic Man?
I don't know, man. Hey, man. Even my fans or community audience, some of them don't even know what Magic Man is. Don't even know why the makeup. Can you stop the makeup? Can you do something normal? Can you be a little bit more good looking? What's wrong with your eyes? And what does it mean? We don't know. We can't follow up. Like, just again, which I understand that, but also like a lot of them are supporting and understanding and exactly what I'm trying to share. So both sides, so I'm just trying to share that, this side of me.
Also, like there is a brand, right? Like every actor, celebrity, artist, like there's a brand building exercise. Like, people come and they're like, you're a brand. Your brand can't do this. Your brand wouldn't do that. Like
Nobody told me that.
Nobody told you that?
I'm the one who told myself that.
You did a pretty good job, let me tell you that.
I just think
the brand's working.
I just feel like whatever I believe, I would do it. It doesn't matter what area it is. If I believe, I'll do it. Yeah.
Do you also think that in our, even in the Indian culture, and I don't know as much about the Chinese culture, but even there, the whole culture is not actually fit for individualism. The whole culture is about community. It's about family. Like individuality is not meant to thrive in these cultures.
Like in what way?
Like in India, for example, we all live with our family still.
I live with my family.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's very similar, I think.
Yeah.
It's Asian parents, Asian families, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you grew up watching the same thing that everyone watches.
Yep.
Right? It's only now when we all have the mobile phone where like we all
So many
have
content.
Suddenly I realized, I don't like this. I don't like rom-coms. I like something. My mom's like, I like thrillers. So we all have our different screens.
Right.
And
Standards.
that's westernization.
Right.
That's come into our culture a little later than the West, right?
Yep.
So our individual is still forming. I would say me, Rhea, as an individual, I'm still forming my opinions on,
Everything.
hey, maybe I don't like greasy food at lunch. Maybe I like to eat a salad.
Different generation.
Different generation.
Right.
And this generation has had the opportunity to see that we can be individuals and yet be a community. And I feel that's the shift I see in Indian society.
Oh, everywhere in the world.
Same for you?
Yeah, and I feel like the next generation probably too much information, and it goes back like the cycle.
They're confused.
Yeah.
They're confused. But don't you think that living in a culture where individuality is not necessarily put on the top of the list, it makes it hard when your entire identity as an artist is thriving based on that individuality and authenticity that's within you that you're so seeking.
So you're saying like that's happening, like not every, but like majority, like
Yeah.
that's a thing in Asia
Yeah, I'm
Like-
asking you actually.
about like prioritizing individuality.
Is that a thing in China as well?
I don't think so, man. I mean, definitely the new generations are like that, is more individual. But how I grew up, it's just, there's not much access. I was using Motorola, the phone, and like, yeah, there's not much choice, and it's just like there's like 3 channels on the TV. There's no phones. We're playing the snake,
Yeah.
right? Like, so what
was
else
on
are they
Snake,
playing with
yeah.
our fingers? I mean, there's nothing going on, but pros and cons. But I think now with a lot of access with information, all you need is just a device, right? So that's like the process of absorbing so much and then going through your brain filter, and you just output, you are very clear about yourself, what I like and what I don't like, and it just became more and more niche in communities, rather than back in the days with just, hey, it's banana, apple, and orange, you know. So I feel that now. I think definitely is like that all over the world. Yeah, with my generation, nah, let's just follow whatever my parents said.
So at what point in your life did that individuality or that individual start to
When
shine?
internet started,
Oh yeah, just that's it.
the reason why I learned making music, and that at that time, laptops and MacBooks were already like very accessible, and I got my own. And there's an application called a GarageBand, and then that's when I started to make music.
Oh, so you self-taught.
Yeah.
Wow.
Before YouTube, there were Vines. Remember? Yeah. Feels
We're
so
from the
fucking
same
old,
generation,
man.
though. You're making me
yeah.
feel old. We're not Gen Zs, we're millennials.
Yeah, I thought I was Gen Z, but unfortunately, they call me Unk.
They got. Don't worry, in India, everyone calls everyone uncle and everyone
Really?
auntie. It's just a thing. In India, I didn't even think you'd be 31. You look like you're in your 20s.
Makeup.
What is your skincare routine,
Makeup,
man?
nothing. I think the skincare, I think it's
Your skin
more...
is like, it's
good makeup,
shining.
good makeup technology.
What is this makeup technology?
And sometimes I do lifting, like the
What?
laser lifting, you know?
What? I need to know
No, I go to
this.
like a clinic and then do lifting.
What's the machine called?
Oh shit, is it called
I told some of my...
Osera?
I don't think it's in
Thermage.
India yet.
Or Thermage.
Thermage. That's really painful, I hear, though.
Yes, but it is what it is. Are you gonna choose the pain, or are you gonna look like the gravity is fucking your face up? You know, like it's just a choice, man.
But I don't
you know?
want to when I go to a salon or like a clinic or a spa, I want to relax. I don't want to feel like I'm getting punched in my face.
Yeah, it feels like burning your face. Yeah. But it is what it is. You just have to accept and move on. And like, I'm 31.
But listen, if thermage is working for you, then thermage is what I'm gonna do right out of this.
You don't need. Why do you need?
Of course I need. I want to look like you. When I told some of my girlfriends that I'm, Jackson Wang's coming as my guest today, they're like, can you ask him what is skincare?
Hey,
the
there's no
first
skin.
thing.
Let me say, look, I always go out like unshaved. My skin is not bad. Like not really good, because whenever I try to maintain, I always go on a diet, 1 day, 1 meal, right? And then like, it depends on what I eat.
Yeah, you haven't even touched any of this food.
Because I'll be bloated. Yeah, so, but anyway, like I choose what I eat every single morning. I make sure I drink my detox green juice. Yeah, detox, anti-inflammation, and
Wow, what's in this juice?
and reduce gas. Gas is making you bloat, right? And that juice I drink, and then take my supplements.
Well, 1 second. You need to tell me the ingredients of
Exactly
this.
what I'm gonna do. I have it here in my iPhone. Wait,
Have you shared all these secrets with too many people already?
I shared. Actually,
Guys, please write this down.
trust me. This is from DeepSeek. I put in my menu. I put in my order saying anti-inflammation, detox, but no bloating. So
You got
it's a
this
little.
from AI?
Yeah, a little bit of ginger, Are we listening? Hey,
Yeah.
excuse me. Please listen. It's good for you, okay? Ginger, a little bit of ginger, peeled, garlic, a little bit.
Garlic.
Yeah. 1 or 2, like not too much. Common sense, right? And half of a lemon, put it in, and cut, right? Celery, and like 1 or 2 broccoli, because not too much of broccoli because it's too many texture. You don't want it to be too thick, right? And then banana, 1. And then turmeric powder, right? Just put decent amount, like have common sense. And then blueberries, out of 4 or 5 or 6. And then collagen powder.
Oh.
Yeah. Just like little bit, not too much. And parsley. And then a little bit of cucumber. And then put ice on top. Coconut water.
Damn.
Yeah.
Every morning.
I try my best every morning.
Wow.
Yeah, and when I'm traveling, I try my best to tell every hotel, can you do that? And like maybe 1 or 2 out of 10 would surprisingly, thank God, I'm so happy they do it. Well, like the rest of 7 or 8 hotels would tell me, who do you think you are? And then I'll be like, okay, my bad. And then they have their own version of green juice, right? And then I'm like, I'm fine with that. But usually if I have a choice, I'll do this. This is my.
So this one juice and then 1 meal a day.
Yeah. And it depends on what you eat, right? Yeah. And also exercise is important.
And thermage. It's a
Thermage, not
combination.
every day.
Yeah, sure.
Just like maybe once every 6 months or 4 months. Yeah.
Wow.
Because it also depends on your personal preference, right? I started everyday makeup almost since 19, and when I'm talking about makeup, a lot of music videos. You see my music videos?
Yes.
My music video is makeup on top of 10 makeup, so, and the eyes, just, I need to take care of myself and just balance it out, so.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
the rest of the skincare tips, maybe we'll get off camera because I don't want everybody to know. So we'll take a break.
But that's everything.
Just give me the other stuff, the real
Supplement.
Yeah, the real
Okay,
stuff.
I have a list of supplement. But hey, can I give one tip to everyone?
Yeah.
Like just my preference, right?
Okay.
Every year, for example, if you get a chance to like body check or regular, whatever it is, right? If you happen to get a body check, make sure to, according to whatever result that you get, always ask the doctor or ask DeepSeek or ChatGPT.
The DeepSeek doctor.
Yeah, or whatever. Ask, hey, this is what the report that I have. What nutrients or what supplements that I need to balance out my weakness on my report, right? So I do that. So then it helps me to analyze, and then I would just take those supplements with that.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and also supplements, my preference, use one brand.
Don't mix it up.
Like to mix it up, I mean, you have to ask DeepSeek, but I'm saying it's too much with different brands. I know it's the same thing, but try to be consistent, right? So that's what I do.
I feel like I know why you're lonely now. You're talking too much to AI.
That's like 3 times. Just
DeepSeek,
on health.
Everything DeepSeek.
Or ChatGPT.
Actually, we have so many people in India.
What?
We can make you meet a lot of people.
What do you mean?
Just people and people and people, and they'll answer all your questions. They'll ask you everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you won't have to ask AI. You won't have time for AI. You'll just be like, fuck, I don't want to talk to anyone more. I'm done.
Too many people?
Too many people.
Hey, man, we got a lot of people too.
It's fair.
Hey, we too combine India and China. We combine, half
like half the world.
We're half the world, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Just people and people.
I love it. Yeah.
Okay, on that lovely note, shall we take a break?
What, you want a break? Or?
They wanted a break.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah?
They're just sitting and watching and they want a break?
Yeah, they asked for a break.
Okay. Okay, all right, let's do a break.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, what's the status, man? Are you single? Are you dating? Are you looking? Are you finding love?
I'm prioritizing my work.
So So you're not looking for love?
Right now, I'm not looking for it, but definitely 35, I would be looking for very aggressively
At 35.
around that time.
So 4 years from now, you're going to be looking for love.
Actually, 3.5 years.
What if love finds you?
I mean, if God is saying it, you know, like God will decide for me then. Yeah, it would take up, because I tried it, doesn't work for me, in my scenario, not saying for everyone, like, it's just not what my priority is right now.
But like, what do you mean love doesn't work?
I can't be responsible, you know, at this point, and I feel like it's not a one side thing, right? It's both together.
You don't have the time?
Right now, currently, I don't.
Bandwidth?
Bandwidth?
Like the bandwidth to be with someone?
No, it's just I'm prioritizing. I'm always traveling. Of course, I can if I want to, but the thing is, I'm prioritizing my work.
How are we going to fix this loneliness situation?
That loneliness is different from the romantic loneliness, you know? Yeah, so I think...
You can still be lonely when you're with someone.
Yeah, if it's not, you know, if it's not the right click, right?
What about like situationships? Situationships?
What is that?
Have you not heard of situationships?
Is it a Gen Z thing?
Oh my God, yeah. It's,
Situationship?
yeah, it's even becoming a millennial thing now.
What is that?
Okay, wait. A situationship is not a relationship, but it's not a fling.
What is a fling?
Oh my God.
Fuck, man.
Oh my God.
You know
Who
what's
is
a
making
fling?
him work all the time?
Excuse me, you know what's a fling?
Are you not doing, you're clearly not doing anything outside of work.
No, I don't know what's a fling. What's a flirt?
Okay, no. So a fling is like a 1, 2, 3 day affair. Really short.
Affair? Okay.
You know, like a
situation.
A glorified one night stand. A one night stand going into a 2 night stand or a 3 night stand would be a fling. Now, a situationship is slightly longer than that. Like you could be in a situationship with someone for 3 months. It's kind of like a relationship, but it does not have the responsibility of a relationship. It's like 2 people have a conversation that, hey, we're entering into a situationship. So these are the rules, and we give each other company, we cuddle, we do whatever else we want to do, and you can live your life and I can live mine.
So it's a very popular thing in India?
Not really. It's more from the West. It's from America.
Oh, okay.
But world over. It's coming into India now, but it's become a really popular term.
Really?
All around.
Let me go back home and explain to my parents.
Or to your your future partners.
Yes, this situationship or fling.
Yeah.
Damn. Hashtag fling, man.
What
And
do you-
hashtag situationship.
What do you guys call it?
I don't know. There's no such thing.
It's like either relationship or nothing?
I've never heard of that, honestly, situationship. I've never heard
Okay,
of
so
that.
I'm trying to understand. So when you're single, how long have you been single, if I may ask?
A pretty long time. A pretty long time.
Like a couple of years?
More than that. But I had like maybe probably what you were saying. What is a fling?
Like a
Oh, no,
one night
not
stand,
that.
2 night stand.
What if it's not that? What's a...
Situationship.
No, it's like I see, but then we didn't even get to it yet. And then fucking just left.
Oh,
What do you
that's-
call that?
That's called a nothing ship. That's called like, I feel so sad for Jackson.
I think I was in potential fling.
You were in a potential
Pre-fling,
fling.
pre-fling.
Oh my God.
Fuck, man, what are we talking about?
There's no pre-fling.
No, I don't know. I think I was in that.
Pre.
Yeah.
The pre is the fling.
But I'll admit, like I've tried. I really tried, but it's just probably
You're like a
not
pop
my
star,
thing.
dude. You should be getting like, I don't know, so much female attention, no? Every guy who wants to be you probably largely wants to be you because of the female
They can
attention.
fling ship and situationship all they want, but it's just I can't. It's just I don't know. I've tried, honestly speaking, right? I've tried, but it's my scenario just don't fucking work out. It's either me or it's just the situation. Yeah.
And you've tried and you failed for so many years.
Not fail, but it's just like there's potential, there's hope, and then there's no hope, and then all of a sudden just focusing on something else, and then like just either it's traveling or it's then what's the next to do, this and that. Yeah,
All right,
that's why I think
then.
my escape is drinking.
So drink, but don't have a fling or a situationship.
No,
or
I
a
always
relationship.
drink with a lot of guys and girls, just friends, and there are people that new friends coming in and out, but it just never got to. Oh, maybe it's a thing like recently. Like when I age.
Listen, buddy. You're not that old because if you're that old, then I'm that old.
You're not.
No, but I am 32.
Okay, just let me
Yeah.
rephrase my words. Okay.
No, but I feel you. I
Reselect.
feel that
Yeah.
you do feel old in your 30s. I'm joking.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like right now, even when I drink, I always aim for start early, end early. Drink more. Don't give me like some cocktail, like just take your time beer, like, well, beer, yeah, but I'm just saying soft stuff. I just want to go ham.
The hard stuff.
Go ham, start early, end early. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if you feel that too.
No, I don't feel that way, actually.
You don't feel that way?
No.
You take your time?
I take my time.
Oh, shit.
And in India, actually, no one meets before like 10 p.m. Dinner is like, if you're meeting
6,
for...
right? 5, 6?
No, 5, 6, that culture's not here. Like, you eat dinner at home and you come for dinner to someone's house. If you're an early eater like me, I eat my dinner and then go for dinner. Because dinner is at 9:30 or 10.
You eat dinner and you go dinner, then what's the point of dinner?
Nothing, just to hang out with people and eat their
Oh, so you
house
don't
food.
really eat, like finger food?
No, I'll eat it still. There's no finger food. This is finger food in India.
That's a lot of finger food.
I know. And I know you've eaten a lot of it everywhere else. That's why I'm not going to force you. Okay, no fling, no situationship, no relationship, marriage.
Yeah, probably 35. Honestly, what you said, fling, situationship, relationship,
You're going to ask deep seek AI after
yeah, I'm
this.
gonna ask that, and then
What is
around
a fling?
35, I'll be the ship man.
You want to get
ship
married.
is me. I'm the icon of ship.
And
yeah,
you-
and 35 probably.
And you want to have children.
Depends on, honestly, I don't know. Like, I would love to, but I'm not going through the pain, right?
Sure, like if your partner was keen, you'd want to have children. So you won't date anyone till 35, like you haven't for the last...
I mean, if it comes, it comes. If it comes, it comes, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. And if it comes, I'll just go with the flow.
Because I would assume that there would be a lot of Indian girls, beautiful viewers,
it.
who would be very excited to know if you're looking for an Indian girlfriend.
Oh, Indian
Or an
girlfriend?
Indian wife.
Hey, I'm open to any Indianship. Any
Indianship, that's a good one.
Indianship, any.
You also like India a lot.
I do. That's why I came
you have
here.
no
It's my
option
second-
now. You are in India. You better say it.
Hey, man. I'm just saying.
I
I'm
love
here. I'm
India.
here. I do, because I feel like it's a place that I've never like really get into the locals. This is the thing that I always think about. When you go to somewhere perform, right? And when you're there performing, whoever that comes and see you are the people that know of you already. Right? But then I'm like, in order to really spread and also share more, to expand like into a new community, right? You need to spend more time and you need to get into the locals, right? And that's what I'm trying to do. Last time I had a great time 3 years ago in Lollapalooza.
Was that your first time?
Yeah, it was my first time.
And this is your second?
This is my second about no performing. It's just talking about being me and being me as a person, as a human, just visiting.
And you have your new song come out with Diljit already.
Oh yeah, Buck.
Yeah,
My
so-
album is coming out too. Yeah.
How was it working with Diljit?
Very nice. We actually met I met him. He didn't meet me, but like in 3 years ago, Coachella, and then we're performing at Sahara Tent, and I finished my set, and it was him to close out the night. I rushed down, and a lot of my friends is a fan of him, and I just watch. I was like, God damn, like this guy. Like, what if one day I get to work with him? That'll be crazy. And then that was a thought. 2-3 years passed by. 2.5 years passed by when I was writing Buck. I'm like, oh my God, if Diljit is on this track, it'll be fire, right? And then I actually DM'd him. I said, hey champ, this is a song, and if you vibe with it, then let me know. And if you don't, all good, all love, much respect, and that's it. And then I think a while later, he replied, give me 2 weeks, so I like it, hey, this and that. And I felt, he showed me a lot of love, and support. And yeah, and then we filmed the music video. We were in a couple shoots together, aside from that. And yeah, I hope I can perform live with him one day, either on my concert or his concert, whenever he's ready, like he has time. He's doing his movie now.
Yeah, everybody in India loves Diljit. We're all big Diljit fans.
Really big Diljit fan.
And the collab looks fab.
Thank you so much. Nobody know. When I released it, nobody knew.
Oh, nobody had an idea.
Yeah, nobody had an idea.
Well, I mean, I see why you didn't have a fling or a situationship so far, because you were sliding into Diljit Dosanjh's DMs.
Yeah, but that takes only 10 seconds.
Yeah, so you could slide into other girls.
You know,
Profiles.
also one thing is there's so many dynamic people around the world. You just don't know if they're like, you get me? You don't know what to expect, you know? So that's why I also like just don't do that.
No, fair. I'm just pulling your leg.
No, really, that's not fear. It's just like you don't know what you're getting into, you know? And what you're really dealing with. That's I think that's also one of the main reasons why I don't.
The cons of fame, as we've discussed.
No, not even fame. It's just people like, I don't know. Like, what if you're...
Catfishing?
Maybe, you know, what if you're like, not like that? What if, because whatever you look at, right, that's a feeling. Even if it's video or whatever, they have a conversation on social media or whatever, that's just a feeling, right? But you don't really know until you meet. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
But don't worry, I'll announce. Before 35, I'll announce officially I'm
we can
starting my
actually do a
ship.
bride hunt for you in India.
Yeah. Before I'm 35, I'll announce like, guys, I think I'm ready, man. I think I'm ready to go to dive and be aggressive about it.
Okay, this is the first time I've ever heard anyone say this, that they would be aggressive about finding a partner.
Not aggressive, like proactive, I think.
Okay, proactive. Okay.
Fuck, I said aggressive.
Like, yes, I want to get married now.
Man, the wrong choice of words.
But your English is really good, which is quite impressive.
Yeah, that's not my first language.
What is your first language that you think?
Chinese.
Chinese?
Oh, first language thinking in? Well, it depends where I'm at, right?
Like when you're writing, do you think in English?
Yep.
When
In
you're
Chinese.
angry, do you abuse in English?
No, I think everything in Chinese and English. But
Mixed.
then when I want to like curse out someone, I don't know, I think in Korean. Yeah, you know, and just and in my dreams, there's no language. It's just visuals.
Nobody speaks.
It's just something is happening, but there's no one's talking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Chinese, Korean curses, Chinese thoughts, and English writing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting.
I want to learn. There's so many language here too. I
Oh
know.
God, there's too many.
Is it too many?
Oh, there's too many. Every state has
Is it
its
the
own
same
language.
word?
No,
Oh.
it's not even the same word. Some of the languages are similar, but they're all still different.
But because in China, it's still the same word, but it's just different dialect. Cantonese is like hi, is lei hou. And then Mandarin is ni hao.
So leho and nihao.
And then in Shanghainese is nong hao. But it's the same word.
So you can still understand it if the dialect is different. The accent is
A
different.
little bit. Yeah.
Oh, not like that here. So in Maharashtra, it's Marathi. But like if I was telling you about East, like West Bengal, it's Bengali. They're like
It's just completely
different.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, it's completely.
They can't communicate?
They can't communicate in that language, but that's why we have
Nice.
Hindi,
Oh, Hindi.
which majority of the states and everybody speaks. Other than the Gen Zs who think they're too cool to speak Hindi.
Hey, what is that word that my friend always use? Panchot.
Oh my God.
What is that? He said it's high,
No,
like
it
some
means-
shit. I'm sorry. Let me re-enter the frame. I'm sorry. Fuck. Let me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
what's your friend's name, by the way? Who is it?
Kamel, man.
Oh,
Kamal.
Kamal.
yeah.
Kamal.
He teach me. He said, "Yeah, it's just say, hi guys." Yeah.
Is it only Bombay that you've been to
Yeah.
in India?
I think so, right? Yeah, I think so.
Oh wow, there's so much for you to see.
Yeah.
You should travel in India. It's beautiful. Bombay is just a city.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's Goa, there's beautiful places in the south, there's like mountains in the north, there's Rajasthan, Jaipur. It's culturally very rich.
If in India, if you guys, for example, you want to go for a trip with your family or whatever, like, where would you guys go?
With family?
Yeah. So, for example, like in China, right, we would, not everyone, but we would go to Hainan, like Sanya, like Like for America, probably Hawaii. Yeah. For Bangkok, it's probably like Phuket. For Indonesia, it's probably like Bali. Like, where's that in India?
So if you want to go to the beach, you'd probably go to Goa, which is like pretty close to Bombay, 45-minute flight.
Okay. Beach and everything.
Yeah, like a beautiful beach
nice.
and like a lot of restaurants and like a little bit hippie and touristy. If you wanted the mountains, you could even go down south. There's Coorg, there's Kunur, there's Munnar, or you could go up north to Manali. It's quite
What's
a
the
tourist
first place again?
Goa.
Goa. It's like that. That's like the kind.
Goa is really nice. It's very green and it's got a lot of mixed people. A lot of foreigners live there too. They've moved there. And a lot of people have started their businesses out of there. It's really nice, actually. You should tell your team to make you stay and travel India.
Man, I think after that Pongchat incident, I lose trust on him already.
Yeah, Kamal's going down. I
Yeah,
think in your
man. This
books.
is very nice working with you, bro.
There's a lot of other people here would happily manage you in India.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, please, I need some
My team would
management.
happily leave me and join you.
Hey, please. Oh, really? No, I don't believe your team too because they don't wear chapter 2, man. Like.
Oh, that's true, actually.
So no one's fucking wearing chapter.
I say let's both change teams.
Yeah, this.
You take mine, I'll take yours.
Yeah, I really don't enjoy this.
Kamal, should I join you? And you guys can.
No,
swap.
cannot trust. Cannot trust.
Okay. On that note, let me just give you something from chapter 2. Can I?
Oh, please, can I pick? Oh, no.
Sure, I have a box for you, and you can pick anything you like also.
Really?
Yeah. This is for you. We assumed you like oversized. There's a bunch of stuff in there.
Shoes?
No.
Oh,
Clothes.
shit. What does it say? Let me see. Anti-everything. What is it?
Anti-everything.
Anti-everything. You design everything?
Yeah.
Nice.
All made in India.
Oh, shit. What is that? What is this?
It's just a cool design. It's the Sound of Silence bowling shirt.
And this?
This is just an acid wash shirt. I definitely think that you should take whatever you like from here. Since you're the only person who has ever read this in India and understands the meaning.
It's Korean.
Yeah, it is. And this is your size too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's small.
Yeah, it's oversized.
Okay.
It's massive.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Anything else you want to take from our set? Do you want to take this?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Do you want to take a cushion? Do you get cushions?
No.
from China?
No. I'll put
Do you want to take a cap? I don't think you should spoil your hair, actually.
No. I will wear this. I
you wanna-
want this.
Do you want this as well?
I'm good.
Any of this?
With this.
Actually, you're here for another 2 days. I'll send you our lookbook. If
Okay.
you like some stuff, we'll send it across.
Has your team seen the lookbook? They feel like they don't know chapter 2 exists. Yeah.
No, they only want to make money from me.
That's crazy.
They don't want to put any money in my
Magic
business.
Man 2,
Yeah.
humanity,
Humanity is dead.
reality.
Yeah, this is the reality.
Yeah, this
People
is
just
crazy,
use
man.
you.
100%.
People just use you.
Yeah, the team doesn't believe me either. How sad.
Oh. Wait, I
The
have.
foot. Oh shit. Okay.
It looks good, man. You look cool.
I look cool.
The coolest anyone has made this shirt look. Guys, learn something. He's just come to India. Very bad.
By the way,
Very, very bad.
very bad choice of t-shirt, man. This is
What brand is that?
this is way better, bro. You too.
Sheldon,
Kamel.
you're getting-
You too,
you're
Kamel.
getting-
You too.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That was so lovely. You were really kind.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for
Now
the
I
wonderful
can eat
chat.
this.
Now he can eat.
Now I can eat this.
Now
I'm
he
gonna
can
this.
eat. Yes.
Okay.
Take
Thanks
some
for having me. I'm good. Thanks for having me. Chapter 2.